My name is Mamuka Tsereteli. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a president of America-Georgia Business Council and co-host of this event with my colleague and friend from McClarty Associates, Claire Kaiser. Claire is, in addition to being managing director for McClarty Associates, she is also author of the book recently published about Joseph Stalin and his perceptions about Stalin in Georgia and Stalin's life in Georgia. And she also speaks Georgian, in addition to many other things that she does in life. So Claire, we are here today as we decided a couple of months ago to do this event, organize discussion about very dynamic tech sector of Georgia, developing tech sector of Georgia. Some interesting trends emerged in recent years. Significant number of companies as well as professionals, or IT professionals, moved to Georgia, and we wanted to reflect that development in this panel discussion, in this webinar. And so I would like you to say a few words and welcome our guests, and maybe introduce Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Davitashvili, and we'll move forward from there.
Thank you, Mamuka, and it's been a pleasure to team up with you on pulling this event together today. As Mamuka said, I'm Claire Kaiser, Senior Managing Director and Head of Strategy at McClarty Associates, where I run our work on Georgia and the broader region. McClarty Associates is a Washington-based commercial diplomacy firm, and so we have helped U.S. companies enter and thrive in the Georgian market. We've also worked with Georgian companies on opportunities in the U.S. and beyond, and that, of course, includes the many opportunities in the tech sector. And so that, of course, is the topic of our discussion today, and I think you wouldn't have joined this call had you not known just how many opportunities there really are on the tech front in Georgia right now and in the near term. So I'm very pleased to introduce Mr. Levon Davitashvili, who's the Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Economy and Sustainable Development, who will provide some opening remarks for us today. I think Mr. Davitashvili is well known to many on this discussion. He previously served as the Minister of Agriculture, and prior to that had a long career working in business in a sector that is near and dear to Mamuka's heart, the Georgian wine industry. So he's been a wonderful colleague and collaborator to many of us. I think principally because he understands the business perspective and what companies need in order to make investment decisions. So with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Davitashvili for his opening remarks.
First of all, thank you very much for inviting us to this interesting discussion. I want to thank Mamuka Tsereteli, who's a very good friend of mine, and America-Georgian Business Council for this invitation. I want to welcome esteemed guests, everybody. I think this can be a very interesting discussion, as it's a very new, dynamic, interesting sector for not only for Georgian economy, but globally IT sector is very important and is becoming more and more important, especially after COVID. We see the significance of information technologies and how innovation usually contributes economic development of many countries, including Georgia. Especially recent trends are very promising. Georgian innovation ecosystem is rapidly growing and becoming more robust. We can say the country has a strong focus now on modern technologies. We have number of tech-focused events, conferences, workshops that are usually regularly held in the country, attracting a diverse range of local and international tech professionals and tech companies. Let me briefly just make a very brief introduction about Georgia's economic performance. I guess that many of you know that we are ranked very high in the last rank of the World Bank of doing business. Actually, Georgia holds 7th place in the world. We are attracting increasing amounts of foreign investments because we think that we have overall good business climate, including tech companies and including innovative companies in IT sectors. We are also one of the safest countries. This is also, I think, that one of the important conditions for international companies to explore opportunities in my country. We are one of the safest countries. As I said, we are ranked number 10 according 10th according to Numbeo index, assessing countries' safety in many different dimensions. We have usually very liberal economic policy and trade regimes. We have free trade agreements with one third of global population, and it's a 2.3 million population. FTA is covering with China, European Union, also ex-Soviet space, Turkey, and many other countries. And we are next week writing again important agreement on comprehensive economic partnership agreement with the Emiratis and GCC countries, moving with South Korea and Japan. So overall, country is very open to foreign investments and foreign trade, and this also, I think, that one of the strengths for us to talk to international companies and attract more investments in Georgia. We are also in the top of 3 economies, which has least taxed economies, the minimum tax burden, and I think that this all helps us to welcome businesses from around the world to enjoy Georgia's business climate, let's say, and we are committed to supporting them, international companies and professionals, not only companies, in every way. Also, to attract more IT companies and IT businesses in Georgia, we introduced a special status for international IT companies to make Georgia's environment more attractive. Usually, international IT companies, they get a very low 5% personal income tax. This is probably one of the lowest, and also corporate income tax is 5%. Something that usually international companies find very valuable. And I think that that helped us to bring quite famous companies also from the United States. And I know that many company representatives are attending this meeting this morning. For example, we are welcoming IT companies like Rakuten, famous with Viber application. EPAM, I see, is presented. We have Lineat, Exadel, TechPro, Dev Experts, DataArt, many companies. I can list actually tens of companies. Usually we have 80 companies registered under this international company status who enjoy additional tax incentives and benefits. We are working, and it's already prepared. We have already draft regulation for e-residence, even though we are very welcoming and it's very easy to access Georgia and find good conditions for the business and also for life. This is also a very important factor, by the way, bringing international IT companies or IT professionals, because overall Georgia is very welcoming and famous for its tourism sector. But additionally, we want to make life even easier, and we will introduce e-residence for IT professionals. This is already agreed with different stakeholders, different state institutions, security. Also, I hope before the end of this year, this will be a good news for international IT professionals to have this very smooth, easy access to Georgia. And of course, we have very good investment care. We try at least to have this very good investment care, one-stop shop investment care from Invest in Georgia agency, which is part of the Ministry of Economy and Sustainable development to look after the needs of international IT companies, IT professionals, overall investors, but including, of course, and with very special focus on IT industry. Also, we try to, of course, things after introducing these different policy decisions, things improved a lot. I have just very interesting statistics about the export of IT services from Georgia. In 2018, we had just 49 million US dollar export annually from IT services. And after introducing these measures, this gradually increased, and last year we had more than $500 million US dollar export from IT services. And for Georgia's scale of economy, I think this is significant. And what we see in 2023, we have almost 500 million export year-to-date figures. So these are figures including August. So I hope that we can reach almost 1 billion US dollar export from IT services, which is very significant. Of course, especially after these geopolitical changes in the region, we are hosting many, let's say, thousands of IT professionals, and that also contributed to this dynamics. We are hosting professionals from Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, some other countries as well. But we also try to focus on the development of internal ecosystem and helping the local talent development. With our campaign, we call it Do IT in Georgia. This is a universal platform for those who want to become IT professional, IT specialists, or those who are already IT specialists and want to have access to better education or training courses. They are usually delivered for free to many thousand Georgian citizens. We already completed training course for 2,500 IT professionals. These are international certification courses, and overall our objective is to make for training for 10,000 IT professionals, train 10,000 IT professionals. We see demand is very big for international companies. Of course, we are open to welcome IT professionals from many countries, but also we want to train our local staff, and we created this universal platform under Georgian Innovation and Technology Agency. I don't want to go into details, but this is I think very good project with user-friendly platform where we can integrate many stakeholders, including companies, professionals, academia, universities are part of them. The training courses, many international companies, those who provide these services to Georgian trainees. This is also a very practical tool that we offer IT sector. In addition to the IT training programs and courses, we think that it's very important that we have a very steady dialogue with the IT sector, and we established a IT development, actually Digital Transformation Council, which is a proper name for the ministry, where we have private sector representatives and also ministry representatives, where we have dialogue with private sector, because we understand that usually needs, immediate needs that come from private sector are very important to reflect in our policy decision. I will also touch a bit on our ICT sector, because this is also very important that we have proper physical infrastructure to develop IT sector in the country. Internet is very important, and freedom of internet is very important. That's why we are one of the 60 countries who are part of the Declaration for the Future of Internet, which aims to support democratic systems in the internet space and promotes to ensure protection of privacy, maintain a secure and reliable connection, and also human rights are important in digital ecosystem, and these are things that are presented in the declaration, which Georgia is part of. That we understand that we need to have good quality infrastructure in addition to policy decisions and overall policy framework. This is really important. That's why we developed 5-year strategic plan for national broadband development, which targets increase of competitive pressure, attracting investments, and building digital skills and demand. Overall, we try to promote with this strategic document digital economy, and I don't want to again go into precise details, but we designed and already in the process of adopting a number of different regulations promoting e-commerce, protecting rights of commerce participants, etc., etc. So this is on ICT sector. So I will be happy again to intervene if there are questions from the participants of this thing. But I try to give you very briefly overview about the dynamics we have in IT sector and how we try to promote innovative and ecosystem. Lastly, but it's not. We also under GITA, which is Georgian Innovation and Technology Agency, we are working on the second wave or second phase to promote innovation and innovative startups in general. I think innovative ecosystem is very interesting nowadays in Georgia. This is usually supported by state financing, some grants and preferential financing. We also try to, as a government, as we see that sometimes the leadership is very important. That's why we made amendments in the investment legislation, and we established the very first venture fund to finance interesting innovative projects and companies. We understand that with grants we can have good projects and help startups, but at the later stage they need access to equity, and again those who are promising companies after having acceleration stage, again with we invited yes let's say global company, global accelerator in innovation and startup 500. Global is our partner in this acceleration program. We established a venture fund, invited private sector, one of the leading financial institutions, Bank of Georgia, some IFIs. We now see that other international investors are also interested to invest in Georgia's innovative ecosystem. So financial tools and support schemes are equally important to promote new companies and not only international, because we understand that it's also very interesting for international companies to see what kind of innovation can happen in the country. So with this, I finish my introductory speech, and I'm available for your questions.
Thank you, Levan. Numbers speaks themselves about industry development and growth, and this is very impressive growth of the industry, definitely. I remember our good friend Arkady Dobkin, CEO of EPAM Systems, once mentioned that when they entered Georgia in 2019, they were planning to have 500 employees by 2024. and they already have, I think, 4,500 people now in Georgia. Well, there was multiple contributors to that, but among other kind of geopolitical and other issues, clearly attractive environment of Georgia is one of the big factors. And this is good to hear that now even export numbers are reflecting this trend. And thanks for your comments. I know you had an important government meeting, and you joined us despite of that. That shows your commitment to this sector and in general to private sector initiatives. So thank you. I would like to now turn to since I mentioned EPAM, maybe I'll ask Yuri to make brief comments about EPAM systems and their activities in Georgia. And Yuri and I collaborate on educational project in Ukraine, in Kiev, American University in Kiev. So that's how I've became kind of closely familiar with EPAM systems, and they're not only just great company in their industry, but they are great educators as well, and they have their own educational institutions around Eurasia and maybe some other places as well. So Yuri, why don't you tell us a little bit about EPAM and your activities in Georgia and why you are in Georgia also?
Thank you, Mamuka, and hi everyone. And big thanks for Vice Premier Minister for these numbers, which we definitely, Mamuka, you already said why EPAM is here. Because we wanted to be part of this big success of Georgia. And I just bring one example to understand better how it's different in other countries, which I am responsible in Central and Eastern Europe, and where we started to grow. In Belarus, for example, or in Ukraine, it took 10 to 15, even to 20 years to build thousands people company in that regions. And in Georgia, we started, like you said, end 2019, officially 2020, from 30 people, and now we have few thousands people. And we are responsible for big chunk of this 1 billion export potential, which is coming out of Georgia to our clients. And that's, for me, the great example how Georgia is different. And because of this special economy options, which was mentioned, and low taxation, but not only that, we are not just like looking to relocate people. We wanted to build the ecosystem together with the Georgian technology and community. We wanted to participate, like Mamuka, you said, with cooperating with universities, both local universities and international ones. For example, Georgian American University is one of the good examples how we are cooperating together on a local ground, but still with the American type of education. Has been public American company, the EPAM Systems, with 60,000 employees across the globe. We definitely depend on local talent pools. And that's one of our mission, to be not just a service provider, not just developing technology community, bringing interesting project, participating in some events in the cities where we are present. At the moment, we are in 3 big cities in Georgia, in Tbilisi, in Batumi and Sukhumi, and we definitely very, very keen to develop the talents. Without working with universities, without promoting IT courses like lifelong education, switching from different areas to IT, it's not possible to build modern technologies and to participate together with the community building some interesting project. And last but not least, we are very keen to share our experience, which we got working with the big companies, with the top brands, the top global companies, to share this experience with the local IT, with the local business, and as well in a public area. Sharing our digital transformation programs in other countries, like we're doing in Estonia, in Ukraine, in Kazakhstan. We're glad to share our experience and participate and be kind of like experts in this area. So all in all, just to not spend many time and let us, I believe that EPAM has very, very strong start in Georgia. And we are looking forward to increase these thousands and thousands of employees. And we would like to train more students that we are doing. This year, for example, we educating around 500 Georgian students in our internally courses. And we wanted to double and to triple these numbers and be active player, not only bringing taxation and bringing expert revenue, but developing talents and participating in the ecosystem, in IT and high-tech ecosystem. So that's how we see EPAM in Georgia. Thank you.
Thank you, Yuri. Thank you. That's definitely encouraging and helpful comments, and particularly this educational part is definitely, that's a future of obviously Georgia and these young people, educated people, and within environment now allowing them to be employed in Georgia is obviously a huge achievement. Now I would like to turn to Mariam Kopadze. We're supposed to have Georgi, but Georgi is called by other duties and he cannot be with us. But Mariam, I'm sure, will give us very good understanding of Making Science Swift company that is, by the way, I should mention that all three companies, private sector representatives, are representing members of America Georgia Business Council, as well as obviously McClarty Associates as well. So Mariam, floor is yours for your brief comments.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Mamuka. Hello, everyone. Hello. Once again, I'm really pleased to be the representative of Making Science Swift today on this very interesting discussion. It was really interesting to listen to Mr. Levan, who gave us very good speech and very interesting details, and maybe that's why I think everyone, we are here, and that's why Georgia is really interesting. We have really good history and interesting one. In 2017, Swift Digital was created, and that days it was founded as a software development company, and already in 2021 we merged with a Making Science Group, which is a full funnel and full stack company that represents marketing and technology digital partner for a lot of thousands of clients. And we have the interest that Making Science Group showed in Georgia is the reason what the Making Science showed the interest in Georgian market is very clearly seen in all those details that Levan discussed today, and all the numbers that, like for our company in 2020, we had only 55 employees, and nowadays we only in Georgia we do have up to 400 employees that are actively working on software development and digital marketing direction. So the growth that our company showed during these several years is very interesting, and the reason, one of the reasons that this growth was shown for these years was the benefits of Georgian tech ecosystem, which is like strategic location, very interesting talent pool, support from the government, thriving startup ecosystem, and very strong focus on STEM education. I believe that it is one of the interesting benefits of the Georgian ecosystem as well. And as for Making Science and Swift Digital, we do have like global presence as well, and in Georgia, the presence is increasing and increasing every day. As I told you, in 2022, we had 300 employees, and nowadays we have already over 400 employees. And our client base is also increasing in a numerous number, which is very which is one of the reasons of this is, of course, this benefits of increasing tech ecosystem of Georgian market, and all this kind of benefits that we do face with the very good talent pool. I think with the education, we also, as our company inside, we are doing the acceleration program and teaching our interns and teaching our employees to increase their level as well. So we are we try to put our very important things in educating our employees as well, and educating not only our employees but the market as well, which is very important. I think the education part is very important as well, as you already mentioned. Let's in towards maybe.
Thank you, Mariam. So Harrison, that's now floor is yours. Line 8. This is a relatively newcomer to Georgian market. It's like second year of operations, as I recall. And so maybe now you share your experience, but also later on maybe we'll come back with the questions about a little bit more about the kind of products and kind of offerings that you are making from your companies to rest of the world, but at this point, just maybe introduce your company and.
Sure, thank you, Mamuka. Very briefly,
why you are in Georgia?
Very good. First, let me apologize in advance for any unexpected disruptions. I'm coming to you from Portland, Oregon. It's the west coast of the United States. It's 8:30, and it is the critical period of time in my day when my children leave for school. So if they barge in and ask me questions, that's what's going on. I'll mute myself and answer them and come back to you guys. So my name is Harrison. I'm the CTO at Lineate. And as Mamuka mentioned, we have been in Georgia for just shy of 2 years. You'll notice that coincides with a lot of the geopolitical challenges that we're all aware of. I can say, first of all, thank you to Mr. Davitashvili, as well as Mr. Antoniuk specifically, and of course, everyone else here. The both of you did a really excellent introduction for me, and I appreciate that, although I don't think you knew that you did. With respect to Georgia being one of the safest places and one of the most business-friendly places, in the region, I can certainly say that that has been our experience. Lineate is, unlike EPAM, not a very large company, but instead a small to medium-sized software development company. About 200 total employees, 150 or 60 of which are currently in Georgia, in Tbilisi and Batumi. It has been a remarkable experience, and I think that the success of our company over the last year and a half is very specifically due to many of the programs that the Georgian government has put into place, and is very specifically due to something that I myself has witnessed. Really, the enthusiasm that I see in Georgia for external investment, for welcoming guests into the community. And for growing the IT sector, and it shows. We've been incredibly successful, at our scale in hiring. More than 50% of our engineering staff are now local, educated in Georgia, members of the community, and we have a wonderful support staff that we've been able to hire as well, specifically in Tbilisi. Beyond that, I can say that I'm just really thrilled with the opportunity to do business in Georgia. I've had the privilege over the last year and a half of spending almost 2 months of my life road tripping around Georgia, visiting various universities, high school programs, specifically one high school program right on the border of the occupied territories. And without question, from the students in Georgia, I receive the best questions, and it is always an absolute pleasure to do presentations for them because it is so interactive and so engaging. And the enthusiasm that I see amongst the young people for careers in technology, for learning, for developing their skills is remarkable. We've been able to give back just a bit in that respect. We have a Lineate Dev School, as well as a scholarship program we've established with Free University Tbilisi, as well as Kutaisi International University. And I am just absolutely confident that not only is there already significant talent available, on the market for us to draw from, but that talent pool will only grow and increase over time. And we're so lucky to have landed in Georgia unexpectedly. There's always a silver lining to things, but it has enabled remarkable success for us over the last year and a half. And I'm absolutely certain that success will only, double down upon itself over the next decade or more. And I'll give it back to you, Mamuka.
Yeah, thanks, Harrison. Maybe I'll ask Levan make a couple of comments after your initial remarks. And I know Levan has busy evening, and maybe we can let him leave us after that. But Levan, maybe a few comments on what you heard from our private sector colleagues.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to thank these wonderful partners we have in the development of this ecosystem in Georgia, because without their engagement and dedication, there is no chance that, and enthusiasm, I would say, that the government can deliver on these reforms and on this transformation process of developing IT sector. Especially, I want to thank teamed companies representatives for contributing educational part, because training is very important. We know EPAM is engaged. We know Lineate is engaged. All these companies are good partners, training Georgian professionals and staff, because this is also very important to how to say, promote this ecosystem. It's not only hiring existing professionals, but also educating new ones and contributing this whole ecosystem. This is very important. That's why I'm really grateful for our partnership. Then it's very important that we have this open dialogue, because I think we have regular exchange on the challenges that usually is led by Georgia Innovation and Technology Agency, or my deputy responsible for digital transformation and innovations, Nadareshvili, whom you are familiar with. And I think this is the best way that we can grow IT sector in Georgia. Of course, we have our own ideas, and we will be happy once this is we are now doing some final tuning before we make this public presentation, but we will be very happy to share with this community once we are ready, how we further promote the innovative ecosystem in Georgia and IT sector. We want to link this IT progress to overall economic development of the country, because we understand sometimes IT is important for the development of all sectors, let's say real economy. That's why the services we are doing right now, the export figures are very impressive. But I think that in the future, IT sector can be linked to different sectors of economy to promote further and faster growth of economy in general in Georgia. We also think that there should be bigger focus on research and development, and there we are not as successful as many other countries, but we have a great ambition to greater focus R&D and promote tech sector and innovations in the country. That's why we invite this community to have then broader discussions once our proposal will be ready to private sector, and then we can of course distribute our roles, how we can contribute to development of this very ambitious plan for my country. So I want to thank everyone, and of course head of JITA, Mr. Kasradze, is attending this meeting, and if there is any further support needed or further information needed from the ministry side, my team will be available and happy to follow.
Many thanks, Levan. This is a very interesting idea how IT sector development and growth can contribute with their expertise and knowledge, and also products that they do, how they can add value to other industries of Georgia. So I think that's a very interesting idea, and I'm also eager to hear once you have these plans developed to have maybe also discussion about those plans. And thank you again for your participation, and thanks to your staff of making this kind of facilitating this to happen. And we'll continue. You can stay as long as you can. And I just wanted to ask now our participants, Yuri, Harrison, and Mariam, maybe they could talk a little bit about what are the, let's say, are there any specific sort of products that come from Georgia that you want to offer to the rest of the world, or it's just everything that you do in Georgia is integrated to your global practices and the business practices, of course. And maybe you can also say a few words about, we described a very rosy picture here. So is everything so good in Georgia? Are there any issues or problems the challenges that you are facing? So you can share that with us as well. So. And Levan, maybe you want to hear that or you don't want to hear that?
No, I would rather hear that before I leave Mamuka. So
okay, let's start with that then.
That will be my better contribution.
Yes. Okay, so start with you, Yuri.
Okay, it's a good point. Let me not start from problems. What I would like to first of all say is that we will be happy to join the program which Vice Premier Minister Levante you mentioned, because we have similar experience in other countries, and I believe, like I said, that big businesses can bring not only revenue, not only export money, but talent development in the country, and share experience we've gotten across the globe, and do something better for local businesses and for government's digital transformation as well. So this is kind of like, in my view, two-side way. We're not looking just like taking some services out of country and bringing money back, but we're thinking how to bring value to the country where we are operating and where we are working together with thousands and thousands talent on a local market. And from this point of view, I definitely can share some few successful product development stories which EPAM is doing, because in spite we are a service company like many of our colleagues on the call, and I hope who is listening and looking the panel, we definitely invest in developing own product lines around working with for example, better work with talents, with employees, with community, or product line connected to open source, which is, in my view, it's very interesting approach, because sometimes open source is the only way to work for local governments to enrich their services through technologies, to avoid some kind of like complications or vendor locks through proprietary products. Open source is very interesting, and even just not to finish, but let other colleagues to tell the ideas. I believe that area which is very hype at the moment is generative AI. Is very interesting for our company to bring already existed experience and existed solutions to build better services or better solutions for local businesses and for some government services. When, for example, instead of call center, you can use smart AI chatbot, which we are doing, for example, for Ukrainian government at this moment, and we piloting this work together with Microsoft based on the Azure OpenAI stack or any other many solutions. So I do believe that IT business can bring more than just money, what I said. And second, it's a talent development, which we are already doing these hundreds and hundreds, and I hope it will be 1,000 students passing through different educational programs within companies like EPAM. And last but not least, this product engineering or product services which we can do and provide for local businesses based on international experience and for governments. That's I really excited on AI trends last and we are investing into this. So we'll be glad to share this. But definitely I'm happy to pass words to colleagues to add.
Thank you, Yuri. Very interesting as well. This last point in particular, this about AI and how the services could contribute to different sectors, so both private sector development, but also government services. It's definitely very interesting. Mariam, maybe you're next.
Yes, thank you once again. I would really add about the AI thing that it is really important, and even in the education part that we emphasize that is very important. Using AI is one of the important things in education as well, and we are we are working on that part as well to use AI in education thing as well. And I would also love to emphasize the importance of the cybersecurity that I think will be one of another hype is open source thing, and doing some more additional investment and research in that direction as well. And I think as the very important opportunity will be also in the cloud service adoption for our in our country. The cloud adoption will be very interesting part as well, and we as a company are trying very actively to do this education thing. Of course, we are doing different acceleration programs in different technologies, and every 6 months we are taking in new batches of employees, and we are teaching them, and it is very important, I think, to emphasize it once again. And as for the trends in innovation, I think the data analytics and predictive modeling is another part where we will be, and overall AI thing will be very important, and we are really actively working to promote that thing as well. And I think it is one of those important things as a company that I would like to emphasize, other than the product development part and the education part.
Thank you, Mariam. Harrison?
Well, thank you. Just a couple short things. You mentioned how it is that IT can bring benefit and can engage with other sectors within the economy. Lineate is a software consulting company, and one of the things that means for us, and one of my favorite things about being a programmer, is that we are always exposed to a wide variety of business domains. Over the course of my career, I've worked in education, I've worked in healthcare, I've worked in risk analysis, and I've learned far too many things about all of those topics. And one of the things that I think is really wonderful about our product, our service offerings, is that it exposes the programmers, the developers, the quality assurance folks who work for us to very in-depth knowledge about how different business domains work. And as they grow with us, as they develop with us, that expertise that they acquire is something that they can bring back directly to the Georgian economic sphere. Having someone show up and say, "Hey, I know how international healthcare works now," right? "Hey, I know how the international entertainment industry works now. I know how fintech works now." That, I believe, can only be a benefit to the local business environment. I'll also plug ourselves because we had a recent success with a local partner. We released a new version of our website yesterday. And so if you want to know more about Lineate's service offerings, I encourage you to go check that out. But I'm particularly delighted to say that we partnered with a local Georgian company called Redberry. I believe they're located in Tbilisi, to do all of the design and a good portion of the implementation of that website. The implementation, we would have been more than capable of. The design is actually something that we shy away from as a company. And so it was delightful to be able to partner with experts in that area to help us put together what I think is a really excellent new face for our company. And so that's a direct result with a collaboration with a company that has existed in Georgia prior to us, coming to the country, and has really been an incredible help to us in, helping get the word out about who we are and what we do in Georgia and internationally. I'll give it back to you, Mamuka.
Yeah, thanks, Claire. You were quiet for a while, so maybe you want to say a few words about what you heard today and where you think opportunities are going forward.
Well, thanks, Mamuka. No, we heard, three very different, but also I think uniformly enthusiastic accounts from the company participants today. And I would just underscore the comment from a few different panelists that I think limiting this conversation to what would be regarded as explicitly tech companies is limiting ourselves significantly. Obviously, everyone benefits from digital transformation and the ecosystem that Georgia, really is at the forefront of, not just building, but building upon. This is not a new story in Georgia, but they continue to be cutting edge in this regard. And so, anymore, every company is a tech company, or everybody is affected by, regulations and ecosystems that flow from tech. And so the extent to which we can broaden these conversations to include, tech adjacent firms or firms that might be customers or providers for this broader tech environment that Georgia is facilitating. I would just urge everyone on this call to do just that. But I think that's a win-win-win.
Yeah, thanks, Claire. I think, Mr. Minister, as you can, I asked them to talk about problems, but nobody talks about problems, so it must be no problems. So, so
I think we are accessible anytime. I hope we will have no problems, but in case if we are needed, of course, we are available. So thank you, everyone. Mamuka,
yeah, and we'll continue a little bit more, Levan. Thank you so much. Thank you. And yes, we'll send special thanks officially as well. So thank you. So I would like to continue maybe a little bit of more discussion about how integrated this. And by the way, I would like to, I should have said it earlier, but I would like our audience to also send us questions. There's a question and answer option here that you can utilize and send us question. But my question is about how integrated your companies and your activities in Georgia are. When I say your companies, in this case, I meant Lineate and Making Science more than EPAM. EPAM, I know it's very globally very integrated, but how connected you are with the with other kind of activities, rest of the world. So, Mariam, you mentioned that you have clients, your company has clients around the world. So, what is exactly what type of functions do you perform? You get orders from somewhere else in the world, and then you perform activities in Georgia and send them products. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works. Our client base is like 50-50. We do have Georgian clients as well, and we do have clients outside the Georgia, but we perform all the tasks in Georgia, in Tbilisi, in our headquarter, main office, and we are sending the product to those companies. Sending, it's very, in the tech thing, it's very it's the interesting part. But all the performance is done in Georgia, in
sending by FedEx.
Yes. We, as a Making Science, we do have physical offices in 14 different countries, but Georgian office, Tbilisi headquarters, is mainly focused on software development. Other countries are more focused on digital marketing activities. So in our thing, we are mainly focused on custom development products and staff augmentation, which mainly the staff augmentation part is where we work for the international clients. We give them different talents, the different tech and technology talents, and they are using within their roadmaps and within their tasks and so on. So that is the way we are performing at this moment.
Thank you. Maybe Harrison and then Yuri, if you want to comment on that.
Sure, thank you. So Lineate is, I would say, a very international, medium-sized company. Our primary development office is located in Tbilisi. We also have a development office in Yerevan and in Krakow, Poland. Our main headquarters, which is a small main headquarters, is located in Brooklyn, New York. And then, of course, we have folks such as myself who are located throughout the world. Multiple languages spoken on any given phone call, oftentimes a mix of several throughout the conversation. It's a lot of fun. With respect to our clients, primarily our clients are located in the United States and Western Europe. We do have a couple of clients currently located in Georgia, which is very exciting for us, and occasionally up into Canada and elsewhere. But as I mentioned before, our folks are exposed to a wide variety of business ideas and a wide variety of international relationships, which is very exciting and a lot of fun. So that's kind of where we're at with respect to positioning inside of Georgia, and then of course outside of Georgia throughout the rest of the world.
Thank you, Yuri, please.
Mamuka, it's a very interesting question, because definitely in EPAM, with a long history, we have kind of like now quite a unique, unique for us, not for industry, because industry is living with this, but unique for us because kind of previous 20-25 years, we were very, very collocated in a big cities, in capitals, like in Kyiv, for example, or in Budapest, or in Minsk, where we have thousands of people, and integration from that point of view was very kind of like natural, because you sit in big offices with your colleagues, you talking with them, you join in, etc. And between countries, it was less communication, naturally, because kind of like you physically distributed. And post-COVID or COVID changed everything. So we kind of like, we moved everywhere. I'm sitting in Zurich, some guy sitting in Santa Clara or San Jose or Irvine, some sitting in Atlanta, some in Tbilisi, other in Astana, and in Ukraine, and in many, many, many other locations. So we definitely...
Even Australia, as I recall.
In Australia, yeah. Probably not in Antarctica. And we definitely wanted to build borderless integrated community within EPAM. For people to definitely time zones still not getting this doing, because some people morning like in California for Harrison, and for it's already kind of like late evening somewhere in APAC region. But in some reasonable time zone, for example, like in my case, what we call Central Eastern Europe, where I am responsible, it's typically from Lisbon, Portugal, which is another hour kind of like before, and till I would say Astana in this time zone, which is quite comfortable, I mean, more or less comfortable time zone for people to communicate and to work together. And we trying to build distributed teams. Definitely you need special internal systems, development environment, CI/CD environment, all that stuff to work seamlessly through distributed teams. But what is we getting? We're getting engagement and understanding one whole. This is what we would like to have, that people kind of like not separated them because it's a Georgian guy or Ukrainian guy or some Croatian or Polish or other countries, but they kind of like doing something together which is bringing value for our clients and engaging together and have some fun together. That's kind of like ideal situation with which I would like to see for bigger communities if possible. And in all our companies on the panel, I think it's possible, because it doesn't matter we have thousands or hundreds of people, it's still distributed teams. And this is important to engage people to work in such environment and have this multicultural, multinational relations with different views and with different holidays and all that stuff. But still, it's very cool, and this is what probably attract young people to join such companies and be in this very dynamic environment. That's how I see it.
I think, I mean, this is, you described it very well, Yuri. I think it's all the positives that could be kind of brought by this time and era of digitalization and connectivity. So, and I think it's a pretty positive note probably in our discussion. I mean, throughout our discussion today, it was all positive, and it's good, of course. I'm sure there are some issues that you are facing on a daily basis as well, but you know, seeing big picture makes a lot of sense, of course, and this is important. I think probably, I don't see any questions from the audience. Probably we are just too good to kind of determine their questions and already answered them. But one thing I wanted to make a little statement about on behalf of America-Georgia Business Council is that while digitalization is very important, but there are still things like physical objects that move around, and we are organizing a small event, special kind of activity for participants of Silk Road Forum, which is planned in Georgia on 26th of October. So 25th, America-Georgia Business Council, together with Department of Commerce, United States government's Department of Commerce and Embassy in Tbilisi, are co-hosting welcome event for American companies who would go to and participate in the Silk Road Forum, or just participate in our day-long event. We will meet Deputy Prime Minister Davitashvili, other agency representatives of the government, but also some of the private sector participants. So while you send your things over the internet, there are still physical goods that move around, and Georgia is sitting on this very important location where which connects Black Sea to Caspian Sea and Central Asia to Europe. So there will be we'll distribute further this information about this activity in the next few days, but just wanted to mention that the council is continuing this activity in different industries and different areas of promoting U.S.-Georgian primarily business partnership, but in general economic and growth in Georgia. So unless you have any kind of final comments you want to, we have a couple of minutes. Anybody wants to say anything in a conclusion? Claire, you want to say anything?
No, I think you captured it. So I'll let the panelists take the remaining time if they like.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you very much, and only wish to meet someone all together in Tbilisi.
Yes. So come to Tbilisi for 25th, 26th of October, and we'll get together there. So thank you all for participation and your contribution into this webinar. Hopefully, we'll have this recorded and available for audience to because not only those who are listening today, but others will be able to listen to this webinar. And our objective to spread word about developing IT sector and very dynamic and vibrant sector of economy of Georgia, which actually brings Georgia closer to the rest of the world in business and industry and economy as well. It's I think very important. So thanks, Mariam. Thanks, Yuri. Thanks, Harrison. Thanks again to Levant. Many thanks, Claire. And thanks to everybody else who were listening to us this last hour, and we'll be in touch going forward. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thanks Annie, who was helping us throughout this
Yeah.
event.